Okay, now we've got the lidded jar that we threw a little bit earlier and trimmed, and we're used to looking at that. Now we can apply the same kind of handles that we did on the coffee mugs would work on this, same kind of idea, but there's always, lots of other things one can do. So what I've done is I've come up with another method of making some handles. It's kind of somewhat unique, I guess. What I'll come to do is get a nice clean surface here, and we're just going to roll out a little snake of clay. And when we're working with this really nice clay, we don't want to roll it too much. Now I'm going to try to roll a couple of them approximately the same size. But if we roll them too much, then we lose the plasticity. They get a little bit dry and they'll crack on us. So we've got a couple of handles here. Those look pretty nice. Now you could leave them like that and add them to the pot. We're going to probably make a honey pot is the idea, what I'm thinking about. Since I did look at this, I looked at that and I go, oh, well, this might work. I wonder what would happen here. And I do happen to have a honey thing, and we can maybe set that in there. So we're going to have to figure out some way to carve that. And what we can do is we can use a thing like a fettling knife. We can actually come in here and carve that section out a little bit. And I'm going to do it fairly quickly. It doesn't take real long to set those out. We'll use that, and we might use one of our trimming tools. And I'm just going to come in here like this. I don't know if we got that so that you can see it. We're just going to cut a notch out so that we know that that'll fit in there like that. Then we're going to have to come in here and kind of figure out approximately where that's going to be. You could run a line with the needle tool like that. Come in and notch this a little bit. Be real careful not to distort your lid. Notice I'm going to put all the crumbs over here because I've rolled out my handles over there. So we just kind of want to clean that up and make it look like it's going to fit in there. And see if it all fits. Yeah, that'll do real good. So you can see that we got that set up there. Now, where we're going to want our handles, we're going to probably want them, if we're going to have that looking like that, we're going to want our handles somewhere over here. So we're going to put them on either side, similar to that. Now we need to make our handles. Well, we could just make them like this and add a handle to it. But I like to do something that makes me feel like I'm in the outdoors. And so I get a paddle, and we built our own paddles here. And we're just going to lightly take this thing, and if you look out around all the ponds and stuff, you see all sorts of weird textural kinds of things that happen. So if you just lightly keep rolling this and keep working it until you come up with kind of an interesting pattern that develops. And you can see what kind of pattern we're going to get. That's going to be my handles. So I'm going to do the same thing with the whole thing. And you just lightly work it. I'm just barely touching that with the paddle, and I'm turning it at different angles as I'm turning it. And it's going to vary that kind of textural quality that I have. Just be real careful with that paddle, and as you roll it around, you'll finally get it to where you want it. Whew, boy, that was a tough one to make a handle, wasn't it, huh? I like those. Okay, now we're going to know that we're going to probably put them in here, and what I want to do is try to get them about the same size. So I'm going to have to sit here, and I'm going to have to, well, let's see. Let's find an area that bends well, and we're just going to sit these and bend them approximately. We're going to need about that much space. So we're going to bend that handle, and we're going to try to do the same with this one so that we make them somewhat symmetrical. It's nice to have them about the same size. That's really helpful. And then we'll just go ahead and cut those both loose about like that. And, oops, I blew it. Let's get it that way. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to have to do the same thing we've always done with everything else, and we've got to score it. I'm going to lift this lid off of here, set it over here, and let's get that out of our road. Let's get these off here. And kind of make some decisions. We're going to keep them about like that. I think I want them to kind of sit up above this pot a little bit. So I'm going to set it up right there, and I'm just going to sit right there, and that's going to tell me where I want to go ahead and score it. I'm going to want to score that edges right in there. And you'll see where I was saying we're going to score it right here. Notice how soft this clay is. It's pretty soft. I'm trying to work through the process fairly quickly today. But that makes for a good weld also. So we're going to put that in there. I'm going to bring this thing up here. I'm going to hold it on there. I'm going to come inside here. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put them on like that for right now. Just to get them on there for a minute. And I'll make some decisions here in a minute whether I want them straight up. Probably want them straight up like that. I may want to put my little decorators on the bottom of them, because I really like those things. You may think they're just too much decoration, but I kind of like them. And you know, when I look at pots and things like that, and somebody doesn't agree with what I think is pretty, my concept is there's no accounting for other people's poor taste. And I feel better about that decision. Okay, so we're going to come in here. We're going to make sure that's smoothed out a little. And notice I'm going to leave it kind of rough because we got a rough texture here with our handles. And it seems to me that these want to kind of maintain that same quality. They're kind of refined a little bit rough on the edges. You know, that's kind of part of my character about me too, I guess. I'm not sure. I'm sure it is, actually. I wear my cowboy boots and cowboy hat to the symphony kind of idea.